going to talk about Pro Products water softener cleaners. If you have a water softener, you may think, well, what do I need to do to really keep the resin bed in premium operating condition? And the answer is, in most cases, you don't have to do a lot unless you have some really bad water. If you're on city water or have water that doesn't have a great deal of iron or manganese or things like that in it, then Pro Softener Mate, which comes in several sizes, is something that you might benefit from using. You can dissolve a little bit of this in a quart or a half gallon of water, pour it into the brine tank and regenerate the water softener, and that'll help keep the internals and the resin and things in pretty good operating condition. Some people take and will put 40 pounds of salt in the brine tank, sprinkle about a cup of this on top of the salt, put another 40 pounds in, sprinkle another cup, and etc. until you fill the brine tank up. This would be for water that's relatively good, that may be just high in hardness, but it's relatively good and doesn't have many other problems. Some people opt to use the liquid res care made by Pro Products. And you can do the same thing with this. You can pour a few ounces of this into the brine well. And this is, again, for water that is not super bad. This is a much stronger, it's a mineral acid, so it's much stronger than the Pro Softener Mate. And it's actually our preferred way of treating city water. You could pour this into the container, into the brine well, and then regenerate the softener. There's another way that this can be dispensed, and that's with a dispenser. And what you do is you drill a couple of holes in the side of your brine tank. You mount this into the brine tank with a clip. You pour the bottle into here, and there's two different sizes, a ½ ounce a day or an ounce a day, and it drips this into the brine tank. And every time it regenerates, it's going to use that proportional dosage. If you have some iron or manganese in the water, this may be a very good way of prolonging the life of your resin and keeping the internals of the water softener working better. Just follow the directions on the bottle. It's very simple to use. Now, if you've got some really bad water, then you may want to use Banty. What you can do with Banty is take 1 to 2 cups, mix it up in about a quart or a half gallon of water, pour it into the brine well, or some people again layer it in the brine tank. They'll put in 40 pounds of salt, maybe a ½ pound of this, another 40 pounds of salt, sprinkle it, layer it in the brine tank, a ½ pound, and this does a fabulous job at removing iron that's accumulated in the resin beds and in the valves of the water softeners. Finally, if you've got the worst water possible and that thing is just plugging up your water softener, then you probably want to use Pro Rust Out, which is best on iron. What you can do with this is you can take and pour a little bit of this into like a gallon of water, maybe a pound of this into a gallon of water, mix it thoroughly, pour it into the brine well and regenerate it. Now, one caution, don't breathe this. It'll really irritate your lungs, so either put a clothespin on your nose, hold your breath, don't directly inhale this. Some people also do the same thing with this that they do with Banty, is that they layer it. 40 pounds of salt, a ½ pound of this, another 40 pounds of salt, ½ pound of this. Any number of these products will help keep your water softener in clean, optimal shape. You really don't want to use all 4 of them. Pick the one that's best for your application, and if you don't know which one's best, call one of our certified water specialists at US Water, and we'll be glad to advise you which water treatment chemical best will keep your water conditioner in tip-top operating condition.